Megan's life in the suburbs seemed picture perfect. Every morning began with her husband, Dave, kissing her goodbye before leaving for work. The routine was comforting, a daily affirmation of their love. Megan spent her days maintaining their beautiful home and preparing gourmet meals, the epitome of a devoted housewife. Their friends often gathered for dinner parties, where laughter flowed as freely as the wine. Megan reveled in the camaraderie, never suspecting the undercurrents of desire lurking among their guests. Lately, Dave had been acting strangely. He spent an increasing amount of time in the garage with his friends. Megan, curious but trusting, didn't pry. One evening, Dave invited her to join them. The garage, usually a mundane space filled with tools and old boxes, felt charged with an unfamiliar energy. The men's eyes lingered on her, their conversations carrying an undercurrent of something she couldn't quite place. Megan brushed it off as her imagination, though the sensation left her unsettled. In the bedroom, Megan noticed a shift in Dave's behavior. He became more dominant, exploring boundaries they hadn't crossed before. His whispered suggestions and new desires intrigued her, even as they unsettled her. She found herself both resisting and embracing this new side of her husband, the tension between them electric and confusing. One weekend, Dave organized a poker night in the garage. Megan was tasked with serving drinks and snacks, a role that felt increasingly objectifying under the men's lingering gazes. Their casual touches lingered longer, and their compliments bordered on suggestive. Dave watched with a strange satisfaction in his eyes, a silent participant in their unspoken game. After the poker game, Dave confessed to Megan his fantasies about her with other men. Shocked and confused, Megan's initial reaction was anger and betrayal. However, Dave's persistence and the intoxicating thrill of the taboo began to erode her resistance. Megan found herself torn between disgust and curiosity, the lines between right and wrong blurring in the face of her husband's dark desires. Dave introduced Megan to online forums and stories about cuckolding and hotwifing. She spent hours reading, her emotions swinging wildly between horror and fascination. The stories mirrored her own desires, slowly awakening her to cravings she had never acknowledged. The anonymous tales of submission and power intrigued her, the forbidden allure impossible to resist. One night, as Megan lay in bed, Dave proposed a meeting in the garage with his friends, promising it would be just a fantasy discussion. Her curiosity piqued and her inhibitions lowered. Megan reluctantly agreed. The anticipation gnawed at her, leaving her sleepless and restless. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was standing on the precipice of something that would irrevocably change her life. The night of the meeting arrived. Megan dressed carefully, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. The garage, once a symbol of suburban normalcy, now felt like a gateway to a darker world. The men arrived, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. Dave's friends circled her like predators, their intentions barely concealed. Megan's pulse raced as the boundaries of her reality began to blur, the ordinary unraveling into a night she would never forget. The night arrived. Megan dressed more provocatively than usual, her outfit carefully chosen to accentuate every curve. Anxiety and excitement coursed through her veins as she made her way to the garage. What was once a mundane space filled with tools and old boxes now felt charged with an erotic potential that left her breathless. The men arrived, their glances heavier with expectation, and Megan felt the weight of their attention like a physical touch. As the night progressed, the conversation grew more explicit. Dave, always the instigator, led the discussion, encouraging Megan to share her fantasies. Hesitant at first, her voice barely a whisper, Megan's shyness gradually gave way to boldness. She began to narrate her desires, the men hanging on her every word, their eyes dark with lust. The room's atmosphere grew thick with anticipation. Dave suggested a game. Truth or dare. Megan, her inhibitions eroded by the charged atmosphere and the wine she had been sipping, agreed. The dares quickly escalated, each one more provocative than the last. Megan found herself the center of attention, her heart pounding as she complied with each challenge, her actions becoming bolder with every round. The men's eyes never left her, their desire palpable. The climax of the game saw Megan blindfolded, her senses heightened to a fever pitch. Each touch, each whisper sent shivers through her body. Dave orchestrated the scene with a deft hand, guiding his friend's hands over her body. Megan's fear blended with an unexpected arousal, leaving her breathless and confused. The blindfold robbed her of sight but amplified every other sensation, turning her into a vessel of raw, aching need. After the game, the atmosphere was electric. Dave's friends left, their promises of secrecy hanging in the air like a lingering perfume. Alone with Dave, Megan's confusion boiled over into anger. She confronted him, demanding to know why he had pushed her boundaries so far. Dave's response was a mixture of apology and explanation, his words only deepening her confusion. He spoke of trust and exploration, of breaking free from societal norms. Megan was left reeling, torn between the thrill of the night and the betrayal she felt. The next few days passed in a daze. Megan replayed the night over and over in her mind, each memory a mix of shame and exhilaration. Her relationship with Dave grew more intense, their interactions charged with the memory of what had happened. The ordinary routines of their life seemed dull and lifeless compared to the vivid, dangerous thrill of that night. Despite her reservations, Megan found herself drawn to the idea of another gathering. The allure of the forbidden and the thrill of discovery overpowered her doubts. Dave suggested they try again, promising it would be more controlled this time. Megan's heart raced at the thought, the excitement mingling with a deep, gnawing fear. She knew she was stepping onto a path from which there might be no return, but the pull of her desires was too strong to resist. The night of the second gathering arrived, the air thick with anticipation. Megan dressed with care, her outfit even more provocative than before. The garage, once a sanctuary of normalcy, had become a theater of desire and debauchery. The men arrived, their eyes hungry and expectant. Megan's pulse quickened, her body already tingling with the promise of what was to come. As the night unfolded, the boundaries between reality and fantasy blurred. Megan found herself lost in a sea of sensations, her mind surrendering to the demands of her body. The men's touches were bolder, their words more explicit. Dave watched with a mixture of pride and possessiveness, his eyes dark with lust. Megan's fear melted away, replaced by a fierce, burning arousal that consumed her. Megan knew she was on the brink of something profound, something that would change her forever. The ordinary world she had known was slipping away, replaced by a realm of raw, primal desire. And as she surrendered to the night, she realized that she was not just unraveling the ordinary, but forging a new reality, one where her deepest cravings and darkest fears intertwined in a dance of forbidden pleasure. The second gathering was more intense from the start. The moment the men arrived, their intentions were clear. Megan, though nervous, felt an undeniable pull toward the unfolding scenario. Their touches, once tentative and exploratory, were now confident and demanding. The air was thick with an electric tension that both frightened and excited her. As the evening progressed, Megan's inhibitions crumbled. She surrendered to the moment, her body responding to the men's fervent explorations. Every touch sent waves of arousal through her, making her breathless. Dave watched, his eyes dark with desire, his presence a constant reminder of the taboo they were embracing. Megan felt a strange empowerment in her submission, the power dynamic shifting in ways she had never anticipated. The night took a darker turn as Dave introduced new elements to their play. Restraints and blindfolds heightened Megan's vulnerability, her trust in Dave the only anchor she clung to. The men's voices, their touch, became her entire world, pushing her to the brink of her endurance. Her senses were overwhelmed, each moment a blend of fear and raw, primal pleasure. Megan's emotions swung wildly between ecstasy and despair. The lines between pleasure and pain blurred, leaving her questioning her own boundaries. The men reveled in her submission, their dominance a stark contrast to her usual control. Megan found herself lost in a whirlwind of sensations, her mind unable to separate her arousal from her fear. After the men left, the atmosphere in the house was thick with tension. Megan confronted Dave, her emotions raw and unfiltered. Their argument was heated, each word a spark threatening to ignite a larger fire. Dave's admission that he enjoyed seeing her with other men both infuriated and aroused her. Megan felt trapped in a web of desire and betrayal, her love for Dave complicating her feelings. The man she had trusted implicitly had led her into a world she barely recognized, leaving her torn between her craving for more and her need for answers. Megan began to explore her own fantasies more deeply. She read voraciously, seeking understanding and connection in the anonymous confessions of others. Online forums became her refuge, a place where she could share her experiences without fear of judgment. The stories she found mirrored her own, providing a twisted sense of comfort and validation. Dave, ever the instigator, proposed another meeting. This time, he promised more structure and boundaries. Megan, her curiosity and desire outweighing her fear, agreed. The anticipation gnawed at her, a mix of thrilling excitement and deep-seated terror. The stakes were higher than ever before, the line between fantasy and reality almost indistinguishable. The night of the third gathering arrived, and Megan felt the weight of what was about to unfold. She dressed with a sense of purpose, her outfit a carefully chosen armor against the unknown. The garage, now a place of complex emotions and raw desire, awaited her. The men arrived, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. Megan's pulse quickened, her body already responding to the promise of what was to come. As the night progressed, Megan felt herself being pulled deeper into a world where boundaries were shattered and desires laid bare. The men's touches were more demanding, their dominance more pronounced. Dave watched, his presence both a comfort and a reminder of her vulnerability. Megan's trust in him was the only thing keeping her grounded as she navigated the chaotic blend of pleasure and pain. The structure Dave had promised was a flimsy barrier against the intensity of their desires. Megan's world narrowed to the sensations coursing through her body, each touch, each command pushing her further. The men's dominance was absolute, their enjoyment of her submission evident in every action. Megan found herself teetering on the edge, the line between her own desires and their demands blurring until it was almost non-existent. After the men left, Megan and Dave's argument reignited with a fury. The emotional aftermath of the night's events left her raw and exposed. Dave's reassurances did little to soothe her, his pleasure in her submission a constant source of conflict. Megan felt the weight of her choices pressing down on her, her love for Dave both a beacon and a curse. In the days that followed, Megan delved deeper into the online world of forbidden desires. She found solace in the stories of others, their confessions a balm to her confused soul. The forums became her sanctuary, a place where she could explore her darkest fantasies without fear. Dave's proposal for another meeting came sooner than expected. This time, the promise of structure and boundaries was more defined. Megan, unable to resist the pull of her desires, agreed once more. The anticipation was a living thing, coiling around her heart and mind, leaving her both exhilarated and terrified. As the night approached, Megan felt the weight of what was to come. The boundaries of her world had already been shattered, and she knew that this meeting would push her even further. The allure of the forbidden and the thrill of discovery were irresistible, drawing her into a web of desire and betrayal from which there might be no escape. The third gathering began with a palpable sense of foreboding. Megan felt the tension in the air, the men's desires barely restrained. Dave's dominance was more pronounced, his control over the situation absolute. Megan felt both comforted and terrified by his authority, a duality that left her nerves tingling with anticipation and dread. As the night unfolded, the men's touch grew more aggressive, their demands more explicit. Megan's senses were overwhelmed, her body responding even as her mind rebelled. The garage, once a symbol of safety, became a stage for her deepest fears and desires. The men's hands roamed with a confidence that bordered on brutal, each touch sending electric shocks of conflicting emotions through her. Dave introduced a new element, role-playing. Megan, assigned the role of a submissive, found herself lost in the fantasy. The men's commands were harsh, their expectations clear. Megan's compliance was both a shield and a weapon, her submission a form of defiance against her own turmoil. Each command she obeyed was a step deeper into a world where her identity blurred into nothingness. The night escalated as the men pushed Megan's boundaries further. Her protests were ignored, her pleas for mercy met with laughter. Dave's eyes held a mixture of pride and regret, his control over the situation slipping. Megan's trust in him wavered, her fear growing with each passing moment. The men reveled in her submission, their dominance transforming her into an object of their collective desire. Megan's mind fractured under the strain. The men's dominance was absolute, their desires insatiable. Megan's body became a battleground, her submission a testament to her endurance. The line between reality and fantasy blurred, leaving her lost in a sea of sensations. Each touch, each command, pulled her further into a dark abyss where her identity was stripped away, replaced by the raw, primal need to survive the night. After the men left, Megan was a wreck. Her body ached, her mind shattered. Dave's attempts to comfort her were futile, his remorse a hollow echo in the void of her despair. Megan felt betrayed and broken, her trust in Dave destroyed. The garage, once a place of safety, became a prison of memories, each one a reminder of the night that had shattered her world. Megan retreated into herself, her world narrowed to the four walls of her home. She avoided Dave, her interactions with him strained and cold. The once perfect marriage was now a facade, the cracks in their relationship widening into chasms. Megan's days were spent in a fog of numbness, her nights haunted by the memories of her submission and betrayal. The suburban idyll that had once defined her life was now a prison, each room echoing with the ghosts of her past. Megan's sense of self eroded with each passing day, her existence reduced to a cycle of numbness and pain. The ordinary routines of life became a blur, each moment a reminder of the woman she had once been and the abyss she now faced. The men's touch had lingered on her skin long after they had gone, their dominance a constant presence in her mind. Megan's trust in Dave, the man she had loved and relied on, was shattered beyond repair. The garage, the site of her deepest humiliation and darkest desires, became a symbol of her broken trust and shattered identity. Megan's world was now a twisted reflection of her former life, each day a struggle to reclaim a sense of normalcy that seemed forever out of reach. Her love for Dave, once a source of strength and comfort, was now a tangled web of desire and betrayal. The descent into chaos had begun, and Megan found herself trapped in a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. Megan's life had become a dark mirror of its former self. Her withdrawal affected every aspect of her daily life. She avoided social gatherings, her once vibrant friendships now mere ghosts of what they had been. The laughter that used to fill her days was replaced by a heavy silence. The ordinary routines of life, which she once embraced with joy, became burdensome. Megan felt as if a dark cloud had settled over her, extinguishing any trace of happiness. Dave's friends noticed the change in Megan. Their attempts to engage her were met with resistance and cold detachment. The camaraderie that once existed was now a source of pain for Megan. She felt isolated, her emotions a tangled web of anger and desire. The men who had once been part of their social circle now seemed like invaders in her life, their presence a constant reminder of her humiliation and betrayal. Desperate to fix their deteriorating relationship, Dave suggested therapy. Megan reluctantly agreed, her hope mingled with skepticism. The therapist's office became a battleground, their sessions filled with accusations and confessions. Megan's pain was laid bare, each session stripping away the layers of pretense that had held their marriage together. Her trust in Dave was irreparably damaged, and the therapy sessions only highlighted the deep chasm between them. Despite therapy, Dave continued to push Megan's boundaries. He arranged another gathering, promising it would help them heal. Megan, her willpower eroded, agreed. The anticipation this time was different, a sense of dread overshadowing any excitement. She felt like she was walking towards her own destruction, unable to escape the magnetic pull of her shattered desires. The fourth gathering was a turning point. The men's dominance was harsher, their desires more depraved. Megan's submission was no longer a choice but a necessity. Her body became a vessel for their pleasure, her mind numb to the pain. Each act of degradation chipped away at her soul, leaving her a hollow shell of the woman she once was. Dave's control over the situation shattered. The men's actions became increasingly violent, their disregard for Megan's well-being evident. Megan's screams echoed in the garage, her pleas unheeded. The night descended into chaos, the boundaries of consent completely obliterated. Megan's world imploded, her reality twisted beyond recognition. In the aftermath, Megan was left physically and emotionally devastated. The garage, once a place of suburban normalcy, now haunted her. Dave's apologies rang hollow, his remorse unable to bridge the chasm between them. Megan's trust in him was completely eroded, leaving her in a state of constant fear and confusion. The man she had loved was now a stranger, his face a mask of regret that did nothing to ease her suffering. Megan began to withdraw from Dave entirely, spending more time alone. She avoided the garage and refused to entertain Dave's friends. The silence in their home was deafening, the once vibrant love replaced by a void of mistrust and betrayal. Megan's emotional state deteriorated, leading her to question her own worth and sanity. Each day was a struggle to hold on to any semblance of normalcy. Desperate for a semblance of normalcy, Megan tried to resume her daily routines. She threw herself into work and hobbies, seeking distractions. However, Every corner of her home reminded her of the nights of betrayal. The weight of the secrets she carried became unbearable. Her health began to suffer. She experienced frequent anxiety attacks and sleepless nights. Her once radiant appearance faded, replaced by dark circles and a perpetual look of exhaustion. Dave's attempts to help were met with silence, their relationship now a hollow shell. In an unexpected twist, Megan found solace in an online support group for survivors of similar experiences. Sharing her story anonymously, she found comfort in the understanding and empathy of strangers. The validation she received helped her to slowly rebuild her shattered self-esteem. The support group became her lifeline, a place where she could express her pain without judgment. Megan's involvement in the support group led her to discover the stories of others who had endured similar betrayals. She began to understand the complex dynamics of her relationship with Dave and the psychological manipulation she had experienced. This newfound awareness gave her the strength to confront her situation. She realized that her journey was not just about healing but also about reclaiming her identity. Determined to reclaim her life, Megan made a bold decision to leave Dave. She packed her belongings and moved to a small apartment across town. The separation was painful but necessary for her healing. Megan's journey to independence was fraught with challenges, but she found strength in her newfound freedom. Each step away from Dave was a step towards reclaiming her sense of self, towards a future where she could rebuild and redefine who she was, free from the shadows of her past. Living alone, Megan began to rediscover herself. Free from the suffocating presence of Dave, she engaged in activities she had abandoned during her marriage, rekindling old passions and hobbies. She found solace in painting, her brushstrokes reflecting the tumultuous journey of her soul. Each day was a painful yet liberating step towards reclaiming her identity. Dave, unwilling to let go, bombarded Megan with messages and visits, pleading for her return. His presence was a relentless reminder of the cycle of manipulation and betrayal she had escaped. Megan remained resolute, her resolve to move forward solidifying with each encounter. The distance between them grew, a chasm that she knew could never be bridged. Megan's friends and family rallied around her, providing the support she desperately needed. They helped her navigate the emotional turmoil and rebuild her confidence. Their unwavering support became a cornerstone of her recovery, their love a beacon in her darkest moments. Her involvement in the support group deepened, and she began to share her story more openly. Her experiences resonated with many, and she became a beacon of hope for others in similar situations. Megan found a sense of purpose in helping others heal, her own journey intertwining with the stories of those she supported. In the midst of her healing journey, Megan met Daniel, a kind and understanding man who respected her boundaries. Their relationship blossomed slowly, built on mutual respect and trust. Daniel's patience and support were instrumental in Megan's continued healing, his presence a soothing balm for her wounded heart. As Megan's relationship with Daniel deepened, she found herself opening up about her past. Daniel's acceptance and understanding helped Megan to confront and process her trauma. Their bond grew stronger, rooted in honesty and compassion. Each shared moment was a step towards healing, each touch a reminder of the possibility of new beginnings. Megan's newfound strength allowed her to confront Dave one final time. She demanded closure, seeking answers and accountability. The confrontation was emotionally charged, a storm of unresolved pain and anger. But Megan emerged with a sense of empowerment and clarity, her past no longer a shadow over her future. Megan's journey culminated in a sense of peace and acceptance. She had reclaimed her life and forged a new path, free from the shadows of her past. Her relationship with Daniel flourished, and she embraced the future with hope and resilience. Their love was a testament to the power of healing and the strength of the human spirit. Megan continued to advocate for survivors of betrayal and manipulation, using her story to inspire and empower others. Her work in the support group grew, and she became a respected voice in the community. Megan's journey from betrayal to empowerment became a beacon of hope for many, her voice a powerful tool for change. Despite the peace she had found, Megan occasionally struggled with memories of the past. She relied on the support of Daniel and her friends to navigate these moments, finding strength in their love and understanding. Each memory was a reminder of her resilience, each struggle a testament to her journey. Megan's involvement in the support group led to public speaking engagements and advocacy work. She shared her story at conferences and workshops, raising awareness about the complexities of betrayal and manipulation in relationships. Her voice became a powerful tool for change, her message resonating with audiences worldwide. Meghan and Daniel's relationship continued to thrive. They supported each other through life's challenges, building a partnership rooted in trust and respect. Their love story was a testament to the power of healing and the possibility of new beginnings. Each day together was a celebration of their journey, a promise of a hopeful future. Meghan's journey inspired a book deal, allowing her to share her story with a wider audience. Writing the book was a cathartic process, enabling Meghan to reflect on her experiences and celebrate her growth. The book became a bestseller, resonating with readers worldwide. Meghan's story was one of resilience and hope, a beacon for those still trapped in the shadows of their past. Meghan's newfound purpose brought her a sense of fulfillment she had never known. Her work, her relationships, and her advocacy efforts all contributed to a life rich with meaning and joy. Meghan's transformation was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, her journey a beacon of hope for many. Meghan's story continued to touch lives, offering hope to those who felt trapped in cycles of betrayal and manipulation. Her message was clear: healing and empowerment were possible, even after the deepest wounds. Meghan's journey from darkness to light became an enduring legacy, her voice a powerful tool for change. Meghan and Daniel celebrated their love with a small, intimate wedding. Surrounded by friends and family, they exchanged vows, promising to support and cherish each other. Their wedding was a symbol of Meghan's triumph over her past and her embrace of a hopeful future. It was a day of joy and new beginnings, a celebration of love and resilience. Meghan's advocacy work expanded, and she founded an organization dedicated to supporting survivors of betrayal and manipulation. The organization provided resources, counseling, and community for those in need. Meghan's vision of a world where survivors could find healing and empowerment became a reality, her work touching countless lives. Meghan's journey inspired a documentary film, chronicling her story and the impact of her advocacy work. The film reached a global audience, further amplifying Meghan's message and inspiring countless individuals to seek help and support. Her story was a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of resilience and the possibility of healing. Meghan and Daniel welcomed their first child, a beautiful reminder of the love and resilience that had brought them together. Parenthood brought new challenges and joys, and Meghan embraced this new chapter with the same strength and determination that had defined her journey. Their family was a testament to the power of love and the possibility of new beginnings, a symbol of hope for the future. Meghan had fought hard to rebuild her life, but despite the healing and growth, her past continued to cast a long shadow. One day, like a ghost from her darkest memories, Dave reappeared. His plea for forgiveness and a second chance stirred up old wounds and unresolved emotions, threatening to destabilize Meghan's hard-earned peace. The sight of him brought back memories she had worked so hard to bury, shaking her to her core. Meghan faced a difficult decision. The temptation to forgive Dave was strong, fueled by lingering feelings and the hope of closure. However, the scars of betrayal ran deep, and she struggled to reconcile her past with her present. Each moment she spent contemplating his return, she felt the fragile structure of her new life tremble. Her mind wavered, caught between the person she once loved and the reality of his betrayal. A confrontation with Dave revealed his true intentions. He had not changed and sought to manipulate Meghan once again. The encounter was a painful reminder of the toxicity she had escaped. Meghan's resolve to protect her newfound happiness grew stronger. The facade of Dave's repentance crumbled, exposing the same manipulative behavior that had once ensnared her. Meghan felt her anger crystallize into a steely determination to keep him out of her life for good. In a dramatic twist, Dave's actions escalated. He began to harass Meghan and Daniel, threatening their safety and stability. The situation became dire, forcing Meghan to take legal action. The battle was exhausting, but Meghan refused to be a victim again. Every threat Dave made only fueled her determination to fight back. She knew she had to protect not only herself but also the new life and love she had found. With the support of Daniel and her community, Meghan obtained a restraining order against Dave. The legal victory was a turning point, symbolizing Meghan's triumph over her past and her commitment to protecting her future. The court's decision was a beacon of hope, affirming that she had the strength to reclaim her life. Dave's departure, enforced by law, was a physical and symbolic end to a chapter filled with pain and betrayal. The experience with Dave's harassment brought Meghan and Daniel even closer. Their love and partnership were tested but ultimately strengthened. Megan's gratitude for Daniel's unwavering support deepened, and their bond became unbreakable. Each challenge they faced together only solidified their commitment to each other. Megan found solace in Daniel's arms, his presence a constant reminder that she was no longer alone in her struggles. Megan's journey came full circle as she continued to help others navigate their own paths to healing. Her organization flourished, providing a lifeline for those in need. Megan's story of resilience and empowerment became an enduring source of inspiration. Her voice, once silenced by fear and manipulation, now resonated with strength and hope. Each person she helped was a testament to her own journey, a reflection of the strength she had discovered within herself. In a final act of closure, Megan published a follow-up book, detailing her journey and the lessons she had learned. The book was a testament to her strength and the power of healing. It resonated with readers, offering hope and guidance. Her words reached out to those who were still trapped in the darkness, lighting the way towards recovery and empowerment. The book was more than a recount of her past, it was a blueprint for overcoming adversity and finding strength in vulnerability. Megan and Daniel's family life blossomed. They welcomed more children and built a life filled with love and joy. Megan's past, while never forgotten, became a source of strength and wisdom. She found peace in the love of her family and the fulfillment of her work. Her home, once a place of pain, was now filled with laughter and love. Each day was a new opportunity to build the life she had always deserved. Megan's story ended not with a single moment of triumph, but with a life lived fully and authentically. Her journey from betrayal to empowerment was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Megan's legacy was one of hope, courage, and the unwavering belief in the possibility of a better future. She had transformed her pain into power, her despair into hope. And in doing so, she had created a life that was not only a testament to her own strength but also a beacon for others still searching for their own way out of the darkness.